Hello everybody, welcome back to Pixie Woo. I wasn't going to do any videos in December, and then I was around the house and I didn't have anything to do, so I was like, I'm going to go and do a video. I actually had some downtime. I don't do good with downtime, I don't think. I think I need to be working at all times. So today's video is, let me find the look, this makeup that I did, and I put an Instagram of it up. This here, follow me on Instagram, Pixie Woo. And lots of people asked for it. So I thought, well, I know everything I used. It actually took me a really long time because I was watching Netflix whilst doing it. And makeup always takes me a long time, but I had a lot of time to do it then. So I'm rambling. Let me just start the video for you. Here we go. Oh, if you're wondering why I have a bruise on my forehead, if you follow me on Instagram, in my Instagram stories, I showed you that I walked into a glass door. A revolving glass door. I was leaving a meeting and my phone rang, I answered it, went to walk out the door, thought it was an automatic door that just opens, but it wasn't, it was a revolving door. So I took a step and just smashed my head. Then I went and had a glass of wine, and as I walked back you could see where the makeup was from my nose and my forehead where I'd smashed against it. What a wally. There you go. So I am going to put a little bit of Becca. This is Backlight Primer on my skin first. I've already moisturised, so I'm going to take a little bit of Becca Backlight Primer. And then I'm going to take a mini expert face brush. These minis are my favourite. I just like the way you can hold them really short and take them with you everywhere, as I do. I'm just going to work that over the skin, just to give my skin a lovely glow. Now, what I have had done is I had some Botox done. I have not had Botox for so long. And I went and had it done, and I had it done in a different place. Normally I have it done so it just goes there and there and lifts my brows. I had it done here, I think. I cannot lift my brows at all. I actually really like how my brows aren't as raised. I kind of like that they're sitting a bit lower, but I can't do makeup like I would normally do makeup. I've had to kind of do a whole different way of makeup on myself, which has been a challenge, but it's quite hard to do eyeshadow. Well, you will see as I get to the eyeshadow part. So, primer all over the face. That was the Becca primer, which is really, really beautiful. So just got a lovely light radiant glow, and I'm using the Mini Expert Foundation brush. Then, who has tried this foundation? It is by Guerlain, and it is Parure Gold. It's so delicious. This foundation is literally like gold. It's lovely. I'm going to use the same brush and just buff that into the skin. I had forgotten about this foundation, and I recently did some videos for World Duty Free. So you might see my ugly mug in the airports in the UK. And I picked up this foundation again because I was picking the products that I wanted to use for the videos that they stock in store. And I picked this, which I had forgotten about. And as I was putting it on in the video, I was like, oh my God, why did I forget about this foundation? It is just so beautiful. So I've been wearing it again recently. And I love, love, love. So I'm going to leave the base just to work into the skin. And I'm going to move on to eyes. On my eyes, I used this. This is by Suqqu, and it is in the colour 11, I think. No, that's the batch number, 101. Can't read any of the rest because it's in Japanese. But 101, it's kind of like a reddy tone. I just popped that over the eyelid. As you can see how little movement I have with my eyelids. It's very tricky. Not much movement going on here. Okay, I'm then going to take a base shadow brush and just buff that in. So it just blends in. I've left this on for a bit longer than normal because my husband came in to tell me that he loved me, bless him. Just buff that in. And then the same on the other side. Really buff it in so that it leaves like a slight layer of colour, but nothing that's too noticeable, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So it's giving us a primary layer. Okay, over the top of that, I'm going to go in with this palette that I made myself when I went into Surratt. I haven't stuck the colours down because I knew I would want to do a video with them and forget. So this colour is called Haut Chocolate. The lighter eyeshadow is called Satin Salmon. Salmon? S-A-U-M-M-O-N. And then this one is called Angelique, which is a blusher. So first of all, I'm going to go in with Haut Chocolate. These have such an amazing payoff. Again, I'm going to use my base shadow brush and just push that over the top of the eye. Look at that payoff. It's insanely good. So again, the primer that I put on, or the kind of paint stick, liquid stick that I put on first by Suqqu, that's just giving me that kind of red tone to the underneath. And then this one's quite a bit browner, but it's still got a slight warmth to it. So it's not going to be really, really, really warm on the eye, but it's going to have a brown, but with a warmth. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Nothing I ever say makes that much sense. So I'm just building it up in the corner and taking that all over the eyelid. Love that colour. So again, these eyeshadows are by Troy Surratt, but the brand is called Surratt. Troy Surratt was Kevyn Aucoin's assistant back in the day. And now he has his own line and it is bloody beautiful. I'm just going to take a Bold Metals No. 4 brush just to soften those edges because I like the Bold Metals for really buffing the product in. I'm then going to swap onto a actual Kevyn Aucoin palette. This one is a Smoky Nude palette. Now I only want the dark brown in this. The other colours are a little bit plummy for the look I was doing, so I just went for the really dark brown. Do they name them individually? They're not named individually, but I'm imagining that they would do a single of the dark brown. Or if you have Bark or something from MAC, one of the dark browns, that would work perfectly. I'm just going to run that in the very corner. I'm just using a precision smudge brush by RT, just in there, just to create a little bit of darkness through there. Obviously, don't buy the whole packet palette for that colour unless you're going to use the whole of the eyeshadows. You can get a dark brown anywhere, but it's just the one that I picked up first. I'm going to come back and do some more blending in a minute. I'm going to go in with the eye pencil. I'm going to take this Tom Ford one in 04 Solaris. You don't have to use this pencil. Again, these are just product colours really. I would normally use MAC Coffee or a brown, but this was a new pencil that had just been sent and I wanted to try it. So I used this just to give me a little bit of definition through the lash line. But like I said, I didn't do this simply. I then used other stuff as well. So this is just one of the steps. I took my precision smudge brush and just blended that in with the eyeshadow that I'd put on. So it gave me a little bit more of a smudge up. Leave this bit because I cleaned up at the end. So I made it really, really sharp by just cleaning up at the end. So don't worry about that. In this, the other side of this pencil is a slightly, I suppose, a slightly warmy brown. Can you see that colour? It's like a goldy, I don't know how you describe it, a warm gold. Maybe bronzy. I'm so bad. And I just used that inside the waterline. I don't know if it did anything, but I'm just retracing my steps so that it is exactly the same makeup. So I just ran that inside the waterline. It has done something, you can see it slightly. Nice for green eyes. Am I weird that I absolutely love the feeling of that? The pencil in the waterline, I think it feels really nice. And then again on the top. Now normally I would just go in with the brown eyeliner inside the waterline on top, but like I said, I had a bit of time, so I went in with this. This is Hourglass 1.5mm eye pencil, and it is so lovely, this eye pencil. And I just took that, it's really jet black and really soft and really creamy, and I just put that just on the top waterline. Tickles. Sometimes I would use a brown, but I never feel a brown is quite strong enough, so I went for a black inside here. Do expect a tiny bit of the black to transfer underneath, because whichever pencil you use it quite often transfers, but you can clean it up. My Laura Mercier brown gel liner. This one is in Espresso, I think. Yes, it is called Cream Eyeliner Cream. Coming in a bit closer to the mirror. And I use that on a fine liner brush on its side. Now I almost love a brown liner more than a black. Quite often I will wear brown instead of black, even when I wear liner on its own. I just really like the finish of a brown. And I'm just going to take that along, just to make that liner a little bit sharper, a little bit more precise. A little bit more there. I prefer a liner for the sharpness that you get in the corner, if that makes sense. Using your brush on its side, you can get such a nice sideways line. Then again, take my precision smudge brush and the dark brown from the Kevyn Aucoin palette. Just run over the top of that. It's given kind of a nice shape so far. Really like those eyeshadow palettes. Then I went in with a little bit of a Stilla black eyeliner pencil. This is a waterproof one. I just ran this in the very corner. Now, if you notice, this is all a gradient of colour, so the colours are getting darker and darker the closer I get to the root of the eye, the lashes. Then back in with the Surratt palette I made myself, and I'm going to go in with this Saint Solomon, was it? Or something like that, just in the very middle of the eye, a little bit there. These have such a nice payoff. And take my original brush that I used for the eyeshadow, which is the base shadow brush. Just run that over the top. Right, then I'm going to leave the eyes and come back to them. I'm going to freshen up under my eyes first. I want to take my concealer brush and just spray it with a little bit of, this is kind of like a illuminating mist, a bit like Fix Plus and those sorts. This is the Tatcha one. I just want to run that under the eye. That's going to give my eyes a little bit of a boost and a little bit of a freshen up before I put concealer on. So I don't want to apply this straight to the skin because it will go in my eyes and might make them water. So I'm just going to take it on a brush just to give me a little bit of a glow there. Then in with a touch of Trish McEvoy. This is Instant Eye Lift. I haven't used this and I didn't use it on the day, but I just got it in my Liberties Advent calendar, so I want to use it now because I want to see what it does. That's nice. Now, let's move on to brows and we can come back to under eyes in a moment. No, let's stick with under eyes. I'm then going to take a little bit of MAC. This is MAC. This is called Studio Finish Concealer, I think. They don't put the name of it on here, but it's called Pro Conceal and Correct Palette if you buy the palette. I like the palette because often I mix colours. I just want to take that just in the very corner of my eye using a expert concealer brush from Real Techniques, the best, just to get rid of that darkness there. I'm going to come back and conceal the eyes again in a minute, conceal the rest of the skin, but I've got a couple of other steps that I did. I did a lot of makeup on this day, for me anyway. Back again to another old school product that I haven't used for a while. This is Shuruma, however you say it. Shuruma, let's go there. And I'm going to, this is an eyebrow pencil and it is called in the colour Seal Brown and the formula is Hard number 9. Number 9 is a Seal Brown. Hard is the formula, so it's a really, really, really hard pencil. So it comes out, you have to push quite hard to get that. The fact that it's harder, I prefer because it means it's not waxy and it doesn't just rub off the eye. It stays put and looks more natural. So I drew this on a little bit to make my brows. Just have a little bit of shape, but still kind of natural. Shurumure, that's how you say it. Maybe that's how you say it. Always have a spoolie to hand. Love a spoolie, I do. So once the brows have got a nice shape, and they're a really nice colour, I then took my Stilla Stay All Day brow colour in the colour Dark. I need my mirror really close for this. And I just drew little hairs on. Not like that. That was a bit heavy-handed, wasn't it? What a mistake to make. Let me get rid of that bit. That was a bit too harsh. Okay. Again. Compose again. So let's start here. Just where I have a few little gaps. I just like to draw the odd brow hair in a little bit. These ones look a little bit too formatted at the moment. Formatic, is that right? So I need to just draw them on a bit more so they're a bit more sporadic and not so perfect. So just draw the odd hair in so it looks a little bit fuller and not like you've drawn loads in. That's what you want. This one is a little bit tidier anyway. Just the small touches that I like. Then go in with a little bit of Suqqu Brow Gel. See, I'm liking Kevyn, Aucoin, Suqqu and Surratt at the moment. So a little bit of Suqqu Brow Gel. I like the texture that this gives, just shows that yes, I have got some brow hairs here. They're not just completely drawn on brows. Because I've been saying the stencil brows are going for quite some time and they finally have now. But I think there is a medium in between where you can still have the shape but want them to be, you know, those brushed up brows are so fashionable now, the soap brows. But there's a step in between. I think this is a great little medium that's in between. Still nicely drawn on brows, but you've still got the brushed upness and the texture there. I think it's a good medium ground to be at. Right, I'm going back in with my concealer palette. Sorry, this video is a long one. And this little jewel in the Nile, this is Square Detailer brush. I freaking love this brush. Real Techniques again. You know why I liked it? Because because I designed it. Now, I just like this for getting right under here. And giving me the sharpness that I want. So it just gives you a little bit of an accuracy to your brows, but then you want to take a brush like this. This might be a bit big, but it will do the job, I suppose, and just soften it so you don't get a really strong line, if that makes sense. Soften the underneath side. And the other side, repeat. Get in there. Slowly but surely. Let me take my Bold Metals 04 brush and just buff that in again. I think I want to put some mascara on to see where I'm at. So I'm going to take my mascara. Oh, this is a Nude mascara. I work from about 3 mascaras at a time. And some of them are older and thicker than others. Makes me quite excited when I pick up the new one. My lashes, I need to put some lash growth serum back on these babies. I stopped using Lilash for a while, but I'm going to start using it again. I can hear kids. No, school's not out yet. I was going to say I'm going to be late to pick up my kids. It's okay, I've got 2 hours as yet. Okay, next I'm going to go back in with skin and then we're going to do the underneath of the eyes. This is a long video. I don't care because I like it. Now, I actually used a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury's Flawless Filter over the top of my foundation. I used the colour 2. I don't have the colour 2 here. It's in London. So I'm going to mix 1 and 3 and we will see. I'm going to mix them on my face. This is 3. So all this does is it's kind of like a all over glow. It's very beautiful. It is kind of like a filter that you put over the skin and it's called Flawless Filter. It is like that. So I'm just going to take the number 1 as well. I used a number 2. Who is number 2's boss? Okay. Gonna go back in with my Expert Face brush that I used for foundation and just buff that over the top of the skin. And it gives this lovely kind of skin shimmer glow to it, which I really like. Can you see the instant difference that gives? Now, I wouldn't use that on its own because it's not enough coverage for what I like. You could, if you have quite lovely skin and you want just a little bit of a tint, maybe if you're on holiday. But I just use it over the top of the foundation. But again, I've let the foundation really work into the skin and then I'm putting it over. It really is quite beautiful. Can you see that? I think it is picking it up from what I can see on the camera. And then I am ready to finish the underneath of my eye. I'm going to go in with the dark colour again, the dark eyeshadow, and just run that under the eye. So this is in the Kevyn palette, yes it is. And I just want to run that under the eye. I wanted to do this after I'd done the concealer, so you know, the concealer is looking good because I shouldn't get as much fall down from this as I would from doing the top of the eyes because I'm not really blending, I'm just wiping a product on. Take my dark brown pencil as well and just join that up. Chanel Bronze Universal, and again another short brush. Which one is this? This is the multitasking brush. I love this brush for bronzer. So I'm just going to take that on the top of the cheek, on the high points. I just love how you can hold it so nicely in the hand. Don't forget to take it down the neck. Then in with a little bit of the Surratt blusher that I put into my palette, which is called Angelique. And I'm just going to take that just on the top of the cheeks and bring it up to the eyeshadow. So it's giving me that kind of warmy tone just through the top of the cheeks. Always layering, a little bit of Hush Cream colour base. I like to use this sometimes with my finger, and as I'm putting it over a powder, I'm going to use it with my finger just to lift up there. Now on the lips, I take this Givenchy lip pencil, and it's in a beige, number 10, a beige mousse line. I really like the colour of this, and start from the corner and pull it round. You can tell this is my colour of choice because the pencil's quite short, because I've been well loved. Do I have a sharpener anywhere? Colour lips with that. Then I'm going to take a little bit of Iconic Nude by Charlotte Tilbury just around the outside. And if you want your lips to be even fuller, my mum and my sister both said to me, "Have you had your lips done the other day?" And it's because I've been using these two lip liners, and I've been using a little bit of the brow pencil, the Umera one, in the same colour, and I've just been going around, and I used to do this. If you watch my early videos, I used to do this, and I've not for a long time. You go around the outside of that. It's almost giving you a fake outline to your lip. So it makes the lips look a whole lot bigger without them permanently being bigger. Then inside the lip, I put a little bit of Gentalisie, which is a lipstick by Surratt. Now I'm using quite a lot of Surratt and Kevyn Aucoin. It's because I had a little shop and I bought lots of their stuff, so I wanted to try it, and this was the look that I created from it. So a little bit of that, just inside. A lot of makeup, a long video, but I hope you enjoyed it. Hair down. Hello? Have you been and come back already?
I haven't been yet, sweetheart.
Oh.
I'm doing some work. I thought to come give you another kiss before I go. How are you getting on?
I've just finished it.
You look nice.
Thank you.
Just kiss.
Does it look okay?
Yeah, it looks lovely. Very nice. Very nice. I like your face. I like your bum.
I like my thighs. I like my bum. I like my thighs. I like my breasts. They're very nice. So there you have the finished look. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I do like to do some Instagram stories, so if you enjoy them, come across and say hi. And I'll see you next time.